Hi, this is State Representative Robert Wittenberg, and I'm here today to talk about the latest attempts to reform auto no-fault here in Michigan. I have received thousands of emails from people both in the district and throughout the state opposing this legislation. And I want to be clear, I too oppose this legislation, and I stand firm with that position. I serve on the insurance committee, and we heard testimony on this bill. And one of the questions I had was about the profits that the insurance companies make. And this is the question that I had.
Representative Wittenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Mr. Kuminich, for being here. It says in here that a rate must not be excessive, and a rate is excessive if it's likely to produce a profit that is unreasonably high. What would be your definition of an unreasonably high profit for the insurance agencies, or insurance companies, sorry?
What is an excessive rate in a given year? Yeah, oh man, you shouldn't have made 17% return on asset. But what about the 3 prior years where I lost money? You know, if you want to establish and I don't think it's a good precedent to establish a limitation on what an industry could, profit on an industry. I don't think we do that in any other industry in the state. You have to recognize that the insurance industry is a cyclical animal by nature. And yeah, I may make money last year. I have companies that made money last year, even in auto no fault. But if you go back to 10 years prior to that, the record isn't so rosy. If you will.
Is there an average?
We've
Yes.
got to get to the last 2 questions that I promised. I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
Just
There's 2 people.
briefly, I would
really
just
wanna
say
get up.
that even with the Affordable Care Act, there's something called the medical loss ratio, and I think this is pretty vague, and I think we would want to look into having something more specific.
Okay, absolutely.
Thank you.
If anybody on this committee has any ideas for amendments, I can't promise they're going to be adopted, but please bring them forward.
That answer wasn't clear to me, and I think if we want to control rates, we have to control profits. And that's why I offered this amendment.
Clerk. Representative Wittenberg, you have an amendment that would amend page 53 following line 20. Could you please explain, sir?
Yes, this would implement a 20% loss ratio on our auto insurance companies. Similar to what's on medical, there's a medical loss ratio, and this ensures that 80% of the money that comes in goes towards patient care, claims, the like, and then only 20% can be used for administrative costs, salaries, things like that.
Thank you, sir. And you make the motion to adopt that amendment. That'd be Representative Wittenberg. Would the clerk
Thank you.
please call the roll?
Mr. Chair, there are 6 yeas, 11 nays, 0 passed. The amendment is not adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Unfortunately, there wasn't support for that amendment. But one of the most egregious parts of this legislation is that it takes a voice away from the people. There's an appropriation built in, and when there's an appropriation built in, it's referendum proof. And that's why I tried to strip this out to give you a voice. Here's how it went.
Representative Wittenberg, we have another amendment offered by you. Could you please explain, sir?
Sure, thank you. This is an amendment that would remove the appropriation in this bill, and I urge my colleagues to vote, and 2 reasons why. First, in the legislative body, we have a process for appropriations, and this committee is obviously not part of that process. We're tasked with the job of addressing insurance issues, not appropriations issues, and I just want to leave the appropriations process to the appropriations committee, just like we would ask them to leave insurance to us, because it's there and not here that the taxpayer dollars are vetted and prioritized. And this is especially important given the recent budget shortfalls we face. My second point is, Rep. Howell, who spoke yesterday, asked a very potent question that stuck with me. And I will quote you. He said, "Was the Constitution written to protect the legislature from the people or to protect the people from the legislature?" And with your vote on this amendment, you're undoubtedly picking a side as to who is protected. We're trying to tackle today no-fault reform, and it's been put to the Michigan voters twice, and each time it was struck down in an overwhelming fashion. And I strongly believe, as a representative of the people of the state of Michigan, as well as all of you as representatives, it's not our role to shut them out of the process. If they're unhappy with what we produce here in this committee, then they should be able to do something about it. So make no doubt, by keeping the appropriation in this legislation, we are once and for all denying our constituents and all the people in this room of having a voice in this. So I urge you to support this amendment.
And Representative Kozlowski makes a motion to adopt the amendment. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Chair?
No.
Representatives Tice?
No.
Franz?
No.
Goyke?
No.
Larden?
No.
LaFontaine?
No.
Lyons?
No.
Barrett?
No.
Runstead?
No.
Propel?
No.
Weber?
No.
Cochran?
Yes.
Banks?
Yes.
Clementi? Kozlowski?
Yes.
Miller? Wittenberg?
5 yeses, please.
Mr. Chair, there are 6 yeas, 11 nays, and 0 pass. The amendment is not adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Let me be clear. I think it is shameful that they voted to silence your voice in this whole process. And as it moves forward, you have my promise that I will continue to fight for you, for every driver and all families here in the state of Michigan, and make sure we protect our most vulnerable, make sure that they don't put profits ahead of people, make sure that you continue to have a voice in this whole process, and I will fight for you every day here in Lansing. And I encourage you, if you have not done so already, reach out to your legislator and voice your opinion. Thank you for watching this.